I'd like to begin this talk by conducting a small exercise with all of the students, speakers, and faculty present here. So are you guys ready to participate? Okay, so I'd like you to take your right hand and raise it as high as you can. Good. Now I'd like you to take the same right hand, but this time, raise it just a little bit higher. Awesome. I can see that everyone in the audience could do it. Great. Put your hands down. I'd like to pause here, though, and just ask you one question. How come none of you raised your hand the highest that it could possibly go the first time that I asked you to do it? Ask yourselves, what was stopping you? You see, as individuals, we have a natural tendency to remain within our comfort zones, and I just proved it to you with this small exercise. Whether it's a fear of failure, a fear of adversity, a fear of taking a leap into the unknown, for some reason, we prefer to stay within our comfort zones. Now, maybe this can be due to a fear of failure, a fear of adversity, or maybe taking a fear into the unknown. But for some reason, we continue to do this. Now, what I'd like to talk to you about this is that this is not about our mindset, and it's all about changing our mindset, and how do we find that confidence back, and how do we overcome those obstacles. By learning how to control our mindset, we can take a leap into the unknown and turn our biggest passions and dreams into a reality. Still don't believe me? Well, I have a personal story to share with you guys. 5 years ago, on April 27, 2013, a girl who was a true definition of a tomboy was crowned the second runner-up of the Miss India Worldwide pageant in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Now, this girl did not imagine that this would happen, but it did, and it changed my life and opened up lots of opportunities for me. As soon as I left Malaysia and flew back to Dubai, I had a ton of modeling opportunities lined up for me. I'm talking the opportunity to work with big designers from the industry, the opportunity to walk on stage for the best fashion shows, and the opportunity to really live my dream. At the same time, however, I was completing my final year in university, like many of you here. But I was confident that as soon as I graduated from university, every aspect of my life would be planned out for me. Perhaps I was being naive, or maybe I was just living in the success of the moment. Now, after graduating from university, I decided that I was going to travel to Mumbai to see if I could pursue this dream a little bit further. Now, I'd like to pause the story here because I want to talk to you about something called the mirage effect. All right, a mirage effect is a natural optical illusion that we often come across when we're driving on vast highways, such as this one right here. And often, when we're driving on such vast highways, it's common to see mirages. They look like little pools of water in the distance ahead of us. How many of you are aware of this phenomenon? Okay. However, what happens is, when we come close to the spot where the mirage had been, we soon realize that it doesn't exist. It almost vanishes into thin air. And then another teasing illusion appears ahead of us. So the reason that I'm talking about this is because the journey to Mumbai was such an illusion for me. You see, the closer that I got, the more that I realized that the world that I saw from a distance ceased to exist. And what that world actually had to offer to me at that time did not line up with the visions and beliefs that I had for my life. And so I had to make a choice. And I decided that I would return back home. Although I was disappointed at that time, what I want you to take away from that phase of my life wasn't the fact that my life plan did not end up working out for me. It is, in fact, a key message that I would like to share with all of you today, something that I did not understand back then. As individuals, it's extremely essential for us to enter a state of discomfort at least once in our lives, because it is this state of discomfort that allows us to understand that we need to continue to grow and flourish outside of our comfort zones. It is really the first step to go outside of our comfort zones. However, it's not always easy managing a state of discomfort. You see, when I returned back to Dubai, I found myself going down a spiral of negativity and self-doubt. It is at that time that I started asking myself questions such as, why me? I was feeling lost, confused, overwhelmed, not knowing what I wanted to do next. You see, my peers around me had all graduated from university and got their first jobs. And I was still trying to decide what's going to happen next for me. And when I was at the lowest of this spiral right here, at the lowest phase of it, I decided that I needed to apply for any job. And so I did. I got my first job in administration. Was I passionate about it? No. Was it life-changing? No. But it paid me a decent salary and I could compare myself to the rest of my peers. You see, at that time, I wasn't looking for passion or interest. All I saw was a fear of facing failure and a fear of falling behind in comparison to the rest of my peers. After a couple of months in that job, I remember being called into the meeting, and my managers told me, Surbhi, you do this job perfectly, you complete your tasks on time, but I don't think this is the place for you. I was confused. I didn't understand their decision or why they called me in. They told me just one simple thing at that time: this job is not your passion. And those were the 6 words that I needed in order to realize that that was the wake-up call for me in my life. Now, the reason that I'm sharing this with you is because although at that time I was pretty devastated, I want you to understand that you will come across situations like that in your life, different situations of failure. But here's a key message that we need to understand. As individuals, it's extremely important for us to understand that failure is not just a setback. It's an opportunity to grow. I shared this in my first TEDx talk, and I'd like to share it with you again today. It's not the fact that life has knocked you down. What matters is for you to visualize the length of time that you choose to remain down, because this is what will help you remain accountable for yourself. And it will help you understand that every day we get a choice, okay? So we get a choice to either look at our failures and just accept that as our life, or we get a choice to look at our failures and to understand that this is not it. And we have a lot more to do. Our failures are stepping stones to the possibility of growth and success. All right. So after I had this phase in my life, I took some time off and I decided I'm just going to reflect about my journey so far. And through this process, I understood that my journey at Miss India Worldwide taught me a couple of things. First, it taught me that I had a natural love for being on stage. Second, it taught me that I had the ability to utilize my voice in order to ignite audiences. Third, it taught me the ability that every day I have an opportunity to make a difference, to educate and inspire young individuals like you to go out there and conquer your dreams. So why wouldn't I follow all this? Something that I was already good at. So that's exactly what I decided to do. I decided that I was going to travel to an island that I've never heard of before in order to turn my vision of becoming an international speaker and educator into a reality. And so, I decided that I was going to embrace the excitement of the unknown. How do I do this? So you've decided you want to take that first step outside of your comfort zone. You've decided what you wanted to do in your life. How do you take that first step? You do this by actively seeking opportunities that allow you to grow. And so my opportunity was traveling to this beautiful island right here. It's an island called Palma de Mallorca in Spain, and it's an island that I've never heard of before in my life. I decided to travel here to pursue my master's degree in education for a year so that I could turn my vision of becoming an international speaker into a reality. Traveling alone to this island was definitely one of the most scariest experiences of my life because I was not sure what I was getting into. But it was also one of the most liberating experiences of my life because it allowed me to diversify my thoughts. It gave me the confidence to take a leap into the unknown, and it gave me the confidence to make beautiful friendships along the way. But most importantly, it taught me that I can find my true calling outside of my comfort zone if I had the confidence to do it. Since then, I've had the amazing opportunity to travel all over the world, and I continue to educate individuals and inspire them to conquer their dreams without a second thought. And that is honestly the best part of my job, having the opportunity to meet individuals like you and telling them to conquer their dreams without a second thought. At the beginning of this year, on January 1st, 2018, if someone came up to me and told me that before the end of this year, you would be giving not 1, but 2 TEDx talks within the span of less than 4 months, I would have laughed and said, that's crazy. But that's the thing about our mindsets. You have to be crazy enough to know that you can do and achieve anything that you want to in your lives. And if there's one significant message I can leave you with tonight, it is this. You can only go as far as your mind lets you. You can either stay within your comfort zone and continue to wish, hope, and dream of a better life. Or, I challenge you today to push yourselves a little higher, aim a little bigger, be brave enough to take that first step outside of your comfort zone to create the life that you want to. Because remember, what you truly believe is what you can achieve. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure.